So in terms of leadership styles, we will look at decision making, and we will look at two leadership styles, the direct leadership style and the cooperative one. An interesting model to reflect on these leadership styles is the Tannenbaum and Schmidt model. This model looks at the way leaders make decisions, either directive, I make decisions alone, or cooperative, I give power to my people to make decisions. And at the left end of the continuum are leaders who tell their team what to do. They make decisions alone without input from their employees. And at the right side of the continuum are leaders who give their employees complete freedom to make decisions while they only act as a coordinator. Between these two extremes, there are many nuances. For instance, a leader can make a decision alone, but can allow the decision to be questioned and discussed with the purpose of gaining acceptance of the decision. Another leader could let the staff make the decision, but only after he has defined the scope of the problem and has already set borders within which the solution can be implemented. Another leader could inform employees about the recommended course of action and allow input before making final decisions. Anything to add to this, Tim?
I think when most people look at this model, they like to put themselves on the cooperative side of the continuum. In reality, there are very, very few decisions which are 100% cooperative in nature. There is always somebody who is the final decision-making authority, if you like. Even in a group of people who are tasked with making the decision, one person will normally come through and be the decision maker for that group of people. I think what's very helpful is when leaders describe the way that they're going to make decisions. For example, as you said, the leader can announce at the beginning of a meeting, we've got 1 hour to discuss this problem. I want to hear what everybody's going to think about it, and then I'll go away and make the decision based on what you've said. Yeah. So this is an example of explaining and describing my decision-making style. Or, team, I want you to make the decision. I'm going to give you the framework in which this decision needs to fit. So that's way over there on the cooperative side, but not fully cooperative. Yeah? It's one stage over. But again, explaining the way that I'm going to make my decision. Or, team, I will make this decision alone. If you have any input for me, give it to me by Friday. That's way over on the direct side. And but again, it's announcing the way that I'm going to make my decision. This is something that we've observed can be extremely helpful for leads, because it helps them know how they approach their leadership style in a very communicated way, and for teams as well, because they know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Mike, theory X and theory Y.
Yeah, so we have this decision-making continuum from completely direct to completely cooperative and everywhere in between. What I'm going to do is just introduce a second sort of theory to see how that overlays this decision-making model. And it was developed by a guy called Douglas McGregor, and it's called Theory X and Theory Y. So what is Theory X? Well, Theory X is the idea that as a leader, as a manager, I have the perspective that my people are primarily motivated by money, lazy and unmotivated in general, not trustworthy, and it's signified by the arms crossed in an X figure. So, of course, this is very closed body language. This is not open at all. And the idea that Douglas McGregor came up with is that if a leader has this theory, then it's very, very negative. You know, they expect negative things from their people, and it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy where motivation is low, productivity is low, etc. On the other end of things then is Theory Y. signified by the open arms of the Y, so very open body language. And this is really contrasting from theory X. Theory Y is you have trust in your people, you believe that they are motivated, you believe that they are there for the right reasons, you're going to delegate and empower them, you're going to really lift them up and see them as kind of, equals on this journey of development that we all go on. So theory Y, the idea is that this kind of approach has the snowball effect in a positive direction. You expect good things from your people. Therefore, they feel motivated. They are more productive. It links into a previous video where we spoke about the Pygmalion papers, where you had students who the teacher was told that certain students were special or higher intelligence. And then the teacher treated them in a certain way and actually did develop them more, even though the initial fact that they were told about their greater intelligence was not true. So theory Y kind of leads into that in a very clear way. But what's really important, and what I want to ask you for some more insights on, Tim, is theory Y, of course, aligns much more with the cooperative end of this decision-making model. Theory X aligns more with the direct end of the model. If you're theory X, you don't trust your people, you're not going to empower them, you're not going to give them responsibility for decision making, you're going to be very direct. Theory Y, you trust them, you think they're good, they can make good decisions, you're going to be much more cooperative. Now, my question to you is this, Tim. In the theory X and Y, there's a very clear good option and bad option, right? Theory Y is the good option, it's great, it causes success, cooperative. Theory X is bad, it's closed, it's negative, and it causes failure, direct. So, Tim, is it the case that direct decision-making is bad and cooperative decision-making is good, or is it a little bit more nuanced than that?
Definitely more nuanced than that. There is no good or bad in terms of what is the correct decision-making style. There is only a particular situation, and then your decision as to what the correct decision-making style is for that given situation. Theory X is down there next to directive because, as you said, if my way of thinking about the people is like this, then I'm going to end up being more directive because I think they need to be told what to do. If I'm open, theory Y, then I'm going to be much more willing to engage in cooperative leadership styles. And what it does say is that very often this idea of leadership style is related to the personality, and it is not something that people can choose freely by their own volition or through their own motivation. All of our viewers and listeners are probably saying, I can change my style. It's not true. You can't. You think you can, but you can't. You are the product of your generation and your environment and your culture. And if you have negative thoughts about people, it will have an impact on the way that you deal with them. That's what this model is all about. It's about confronting you with the way that you think about situations and people, and tries to open you up in order to change your style. The 45-year-old directive leader who has been directive and has been very successful with this for 25 years, can they change and be cooperative? We would hope so, but probably can't. Do they have more of a theory X thinking about their people? Very possibly. The very, very cooperative leader who has always been cooperative and has never been direct, can we expect them to be direct if they need to? Probably not. Are they open and theory Y about all of the people that they deal with? Maybe not. But can they change their style? That's a difficult question. So leadership styles is something that is very theoretical. In terms of the ideal world, we can change it based on the situation. The real world is that we're very locked into our personality, style, and the ego that we have, and our own self-image and our image of other people. Changing that is the key. point that we want to make.
So in the ideal world, we should be able to move around the continuum as we see fit, right?
Absolutely.
If you think about X, theory X, I think the key word there is, I don't trust my people yet. If you believe in the growth of your team, then maybe you don't trust your people yet. So now you want to be more directive. But in time, as people develop, maybe you can consider changing your leadership style based on what your team looks like.
I was personally quite shocked when I was confronted with theory X and theory Y to find myself having all sorts of negative thoughts about the people I was working with, and then tracking those negative thoughts onto what does it mean for the work that we do together? Does it actually have an impact on the work that we do together? And the answer was absolutely yes. So the first instant that I saw that methodology, I literally started creating the link between the way that I thought about somebody and the way that I communicated with them in the working environment. And there was a direct correlation and link. I shouldn't be doing that. I've been doing this stuff for 25 years. I was literally, I was shocked for myself. And I believe everybody needs to confront themselves with that shock and move forward from it.